My name is Matt Avery. I work with RunSignUp and the race director. My specialty is working with timers and race directors, especially doing RaceDay Go stuff. So anything on site where they're accepting live entries, doing check-in and scoring and results and all of that kind of stuff. So along with me is my compatriot, Megan Carey. She also helps me with race director support and does a lot more as well with RunSignUp. So today I was asked to talk about my favorite things in RunSignUp, which are RaceDay kiosks. These are the suite of applications that we've built to help you out on race day, make your event better and run more smooth. So we have a few different things and some new things up the pipeline that are coming down shortly that I'm really excited about. First, though, I want to just get a poll of the crowd today. How many of you guys in the room are not using any of our race day applications or collecting on-site registrations and so on? So just put your hands up for me. Cool, that's a good number of people, and I assume the rest of the people are expert users? What? Come on. All right, fine. No, so we're going to do a little bit of both then. I'm going to quick walk through what we have to offer, and I'm going to take some questions and give you guys some best practices. Does that sound good? Sure. Cool. So the first one I'm going to talk about is RaceDay Sign Up. What we have is an actual application that you can use. You can install it on Android, iOS, and we also have a web URL. That's signupapp.runsignup.com. And so I'm going to preface this conversation about the Sign Up app with the fact that the Sign Up app is great, but what's even better is if you can get people to register in their car before they even get to the site. So here's a big thing. If you can make it work for your event, try as hard as possible to make it so that they close registration the moment the gun goes off, because you'll be able to get more registrations faster that way. And it's really hard to gauge. I'll get people asking me all the time, hey, I'm doing this 3,000 person event. We get like 2,000 people register on race day. How many kiosks do I need to set up? How many Chromebooks do I gotta buy? I'm like, well, let's hope that some of those people register on their phones or register back home before they decide to leave, or sitting in the car waiting to see if the clouds are going to go away or not. Because what you don't want on race site is queuing for people trying to register. You guys know that's a really stressful situation to be in. So I will say our sign-up app kiosks are great, but we also have really good solutions for what we call fast registration. So Megan, can you actually go to the dashboard page? So can you just look up fast registration for me? This is a good thing too, guys. That search box is your friend. Use this all the time. Okay, so fast registration. This is pretty cool. We have a couple of different options here. We have mobile registration options, quick registration by date range, fast registration URL options, and expo registration options. And then we also have a one-click option. So the idea here is this is standard registration process, but we allow you to hide certain fields or skip certain steps within the registration process based on a few things. Okay, so Megan, can you just enable quick registration on mobile for me really quick? Thanks. So what you can do is you can skip certain fields. So if I'm doing a race registration and I want everybody after a certain date to only have to enter in certain fields, I might want to hide date of birth, country, state, street address, city, phone. So it's just basically first name, last name, gender, age, and zip code, because our zip code will fill in their city, state automatically. I'm going to skip all the stuff like memberships, donations, custom questions, corrals, tech partners. All of these things I'm going to skip because I don't need that information on race day. So what you can do is actually, that would be for all mobile devices. You can also do a registration period. So this is actually the best thing, I think, because then you can say, all right, Friday at midnight, enable quick registration from Friday at midnight until Saturday morning at 9 a.m. So anybody who registers at that time, you're going to get less information, but they're going to get through registration faster. So you guys know what it's like at crunch time. You just want to get those registrations in, flowing, quick. So this is a really, really good thing. You set it up, set a start date, end date, skip all the fields you need, and so on. You can even use this, allow participants to register without creating an account. That makes it even faster, so they don't have to set up a password for their email address if they've never used RunSignUp before. Scroll down all the way, Megan. There's a few other options here. I'm not going to go over them right now because we don't have too much time. But the one click is really cool. If you guys are a RunSignUp customer who's been using RunSignUp for a few years and your participants already have RunSignUp accounts, this will let them just click sign up, and it pulls their information from their profile. It even gets their giveaway selection that they've made in the past, plugs it in automatically, and they're at the checkout screen. If they've saved a credit card, it charges it right away. So if you guys are confident that you have a lot of users who already have this information saved in their profile, go ahead and try it out at one race. It might work really well for you.
And obviously their age would update to this year's.
Use the date of birth, use age calculation date in your dashboard to determine that. Yes?
Can they edit anything, like a t-shirt size in that one click?
Once it's done, it's done. So
there's no editing it?
Yeah, no. But it's something you could try. It is, I mean, obviously we're sacrificing the data for a fast process here. So you have to be careful with what you're doing.
Are these settings completely override all the app settings that you may have set up?
So this is actually separate. This is the standard registration process. If I go to my phone and go to runsignup.com/whatever my race is, that's the process that it's affecting. It's not affecting the app process. So if you do have a sign-up app you are running, you would have to adjust the field separately there. Megan, you want to go back to the sign-up app itself? So yeah, like I said, the sign-up app is great. I will say I found the best use case for it is setting up a laptop or a Chromebook. I find that people today still are not comfortable typing on a tablet or a mobile device for registering. So what I like to do is actually use a Chromebook or a regular desktop or laptop computer and go to signupapp.runsignup.com, find the race, and register that way. Another thing I really like to do is people have problems looking at screens at races. So I just bump up Control +++++ until it looks like the text fields are this big because people can't read. They're not thinking about it. That's one way to get people to register better if you have to have them register on a computer kiosk. So
we've been using volunteers to do the typing because people get
jumbled.
The computer get on the wrong page.
Yeah,
it's just faster if they just tell them and then we say, "Do you agree to the waiver?" and they get yes.
Yeah. Another thing on that is he was saying that he likes to just have volunteers stationed there as typists. If the person's having trouble, they just plug it in for them because they're going to be as fast as they normally are. On top of that, what I also will like to do is you don't want to deter people if they're going to come in with a check because they've registered since 1985 with a check and a piece of paper. You don't want to deter that. You want to be accepting towards that. So you need to have a volunteer there who's willing to take registration entries and flip the screen and type it in themselves right away. Don't make them seem like they're being outcast because they're old school. That's fine. Don't do that. That's bad news. You're not going to get a good rep for doing that. So
we create a separate lane.
Yep.
So they're not holding people up that are doing credit card stuff.
That's a good way to do it as well. So have a separate lane for your registrations if they're paying by cash or check. We do have the options in the app itself to accept cash or check on the checkout. So Megan, can you actually go to the settings of this? So we have to exit the registration mode in order to do this. Yeah, so any of you guys who have used this before and you don't know where this is, it's a good thing to know where this is. So you have to have, you can have a couple of different save settings, and these will sync between devices. And these are all settings. Megan, if you just swipe down, there's a ton of stuff here. So before you ever set up a kiosk, please take a look at this because it's only as good as you make it. Take a look at what fields you're showing. Take a look at all the settings and what they do because it's really important. We offer, this is across the board RunSignUp-wise, we offer a ton of stuff, but if you don't look at it and figure out your use case, you might not like it. So we have all these different things that you can skip, custom questions, steps, and scroll back up for me, Megan. And we have all these different settings. So we can allow registrants to skip the email field. We can require registrants to set up an account. We don't have this yet, allow registrations even when there's no internet connection. It got put in the back burner for a bit. Allow registrants to pay with cash and all these other things. We can have a payment passcode that you can set that's just like cash so that when someone does pay with cash, they can mark it as paid. Allow registrants to clear registrations within 15 minutes, all these other things. So please take a look at this. These will affect both the apps and signupapp.runsignup.com when you load it up there. So were there any kind of questions quick on the sign up stuff?
The option about allowing participant bibs to be assigned from the app,
Yeah.
I've never done that.
Yeah.
It scares me. I'm wondering what others, if
So-
some people are doing that.
Yeah, I know a lot of timers who do that. Personally, I come from a background of doing dynamic bib assignment with a check-in station. So that's what I'm used to. I'm used to just having people register over here, and then they get their bib assigned over there.
So you would have a volunteer on who's handing out the bib
Yes,
at a separate.
yes. That's what I'm used to. I also know a lot of people who require people to register on site at the check-in, at the sign-up app station, and then they're handing out a bib right to them. It depends on your process, because if you're only doing RaceDay registration on the kiosk, it makes sense, right? But if you have separate lanes of registration, you have online registration open, they're not going to be pushed towards the registration kiosk.
Right.
So you need to have that check-in lane anyways. So it depends on your process. Some people really like that.
That's how I've basically been doing it. You register here and there's a separate check-in station
Right.
to get the bib.
That's exactly how I usually do it. We do provide the option to allow people who want to do it this way to assign a bib right there directly. Like I said, it's all up to you and how you decide to organize your room and set up your process.
The mobile app. So say somebody's driving in their car, they register, how do they get the bib? How do you sign it?
Well, it depends. There's a lot of different things you could do. It depends totally on how you want to do bib assignment. So a lot of times what I recommend is called dynamic bib assignment. Dynamic bib assignment is when no one has a bib until they've come into the check-in process lane and they're given a bib physically. So if I register in my car, I still have to go to registration to get my bib, right? At that point, someone is looking me up on a phone and they're assigning me a bib or scanning my barcode of my bib and assigning it to me. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is if you have auto assignment for bib numbers set up on your dashboard. And then what it will do is when they register in their car, it will just give them the next available bib, and you can give it to them when they come in and check in. It'll say, oh, Matt Avery, you have bib 100. Here it is for you. So it depends on your process. What do you normally do?
Well, we use the sign up app. First time we heard about the mobile. So I'm thinking about the mobile, but let's keep the sign up app running at the race.
Yeah. What do you? She does both. She does the sign up app, or she's thinking of doing both. There's a sign up app and is thinking of adding the mobile or leaving mobile registration open until race day or the end of race day. So my question is, how do you do bib assignment currently?
Well, the sign up app, they go, they pay,
Hmm?
they pay cash or check, and then they get the bib, and they walk over to whatever device they're using and do it, sign bib.
Okay.
They have the bib in hand.
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
Okay. So what I would do in your situation is have another stack of bibs over at the check-in,
Right.
and for the people who already are registered, they go right to that table. The other option is to say all bib assignment is done at a check-in location. So all the bibs are on one big pile, and the person working check-in, their job is just look up a person, they don't have a bib number, give them the first one off the top of the stack, assign it, hand it to them.
So you can assign it, even though they did it mobile, you can assign
Yes.
it, like they're doing through the sign up apps.
So when they register through a sign-up app, they look like any other registrant. Yep.
Okay.
So I like to recommend you have a sign-up little lane,
Right.
and then you have a check-in lane that everybody has to go into. So if you haven't registered yet, go down to that other place or sign up on your phone while you're waiting in line.
Right. Okay.
So that's usually what I recommend is like I have someone walking through the lines if there's a queue and say, hey, if anybody hasn't registered yet, online registration is open, go to your phone, runsignup.com/Larry's5K, whatever.
Okay. Thank you.
Question for you, because when we did the Scott Coffee run, when we had the dynamic bib assignment there, the one issue that we saw, and as the timer on the end of it, what we struggled with was, at some point it seemed like you would lose connection, you would lose internet. So
Yeah.
they're typing in bib numbers and it's
Yeah.
not recording it.
So I was there.
So I'm sitting, I know, I'm
I was
sitting
there.
at the timer.
And this is
you
the
don't
issue.
have-
We actually researched into it, and the problem was all the issues cropped up on people who were using the old check-in software. So like the web link. So what I recommend for check-in is to always use the app version.
Okay.
We didn't-
Just for check-in?
For check-in, yeah. For check-in, always use an app version. This is because the web link version was made a long time ago. We don't really support it at all anymore. We found that was happening was it wasn't forcibly pushing up after a certain timeout. So what you can do is you can make sure that all of those syncs happen by manually syncing before you shut the computer down.
Okay.
But that was the problem.
So it was stored on the computer,
Yes.
they just never hit sync?
Yes. But then once you leave the browser window, it's gone. So I'll say that, but I also will say that for me, I think the best solution for check-in is have people install it on their own mobile devices. Volunteers are used to using their own mobile devices. give them the password. They know how to use and type in someone's name and click enter and assign a bib. And the best part about it is if you guys do have barcodes available on your bib numbers, you can do bib entry through the barcode. And that gets rid of anybody who is slightly dyslexic from messing up all the bib numbers. So I would really recommend you guys start printing barcodes on your bibs because you can scan it with a camera, you never get it wrong. But that's the other reason I like the apps for check-in over the computer for check-in.
It's just the number barcode, like the normal.
Yeah, like a standard barcode I can read, yeah.
QR.
QR works too. So yeah, kind of, oh, thank you, Megan. Yeah, so basically if you're checking someone in, that is the open up the camera to scan a bib number, and it will, yeah. You don't really have a bib barcode to scan. But what that can do is it can scan a registration ID to look someone up. So if you have people print off their registration confirmation emails, it can look up their registration right away, so you don't have to ask them their name or be social at all. Just scan the registration ID. And then if you click it up here, again, it will scan their bib number in and enter their bib number. So it's just a two-step.
That's a camera, that's not a.
It's a camera,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a camera on
It's
on
pretty
the
slick.
tablet.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And there's other things you can do. You can also make it so that this camera automatically shows up when you say check someone in. So it's a really fast process. And while we're here, Megan, why don't we go to the settings for check-in app? So there's a lot of stuff here. If you guys are using check-in app and you're not happy with the way things look or the data that is being visualized and shown to you, look through this because there's a ton of stuff you can do. Go all the way at the top, Megan. First thing is the sort order. So by default, it's last name, first name. You can also do registration date. Steve?
Can you use, on the computer, can you use a barcode scanner?
Yeah. Barcode scanners, I get this question a lot. Barcode scanners, it looks like a keyboard to a computer. So if you have it plugged in and you have a field selected, you can scan whatever you want to in it and it'll work.
Another question, the waiver. Here it says require waiver. If that comes up that they haven't signed the waiver, is there a way they can sign it while you're checking them in?
Yes. Actually really cool. So it allows you to just like right on the screen and it actually will save the image to your dashboard under their participant information. So if they haven't signed the waiver yet and you say require the waiver signing, they can just sign it off on the phone. It's a really cool effect.
Very cool. Thanks.
Will it only require it if they haven't signed it, or is it
Yes.
everybody have to read
Only require if they have not signed it online. So if they signed up like in paper or they're imported or something and they didn't physically sign the waiver, it will make them do it here.
Going back to the mobile sign-in.
Yeah.
So somebody's in line and you say to them, would you like to sign in online? Physically, how are they actually doing that? How do they know where to go to sign in?
So are you referring to sign up kiosk or are you referring to?
So like the run sign-up when you're doing it on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Then the card, do they have to have a link? Do you have to send them the link?
What I recommend is making a simple URL for your race. So what you can do is there's a way in the dashboard to give yourself a short URL. So then I just yell at people, runsignup.com/Matt Avery, whatever.
Yes.
And people will generally be able to figure that out. Or you can maybe put it on your Facebook page, a link to it right there. People are used to using Facebook. They can search for your race. They know how to find that. And Megan's got the actual, this is where you can assign a custom URL for your race. So that's really, really good to do anyways. So definitely recommend it. What I did want to talk about really quick is that we do have this option of showing linked registrations. What that does is it's basically will say if Sue, Sally, and John all registered together and I check in John, it'll automatically prompt me, do you want to check in Sue and Sally as well? So sometimes it's really worked great. Like if I have 3 people standing in front of me waiting to get checked in, I'm like, are you guys Sue and Sally? They're like, wait, what? So that's really nice. It just allows you to go through a lot of people quickly. And there's a lot of other things here. There is the option to prevent duplicate bibs in the app. You have to be careful because these only know what's happening on this device. So you could get duplicate bibs if you are checking in 2 devices at the same time because these databases sync eventually but not immediately. So you have to be careful with this setting. You will prevent duplicate bibs from being assigned in this machine, but if you have a ton of people and they could have assigned the same bib number for some reason, it could possibly happen. And there's the automatically show camera on bib assignment, like I was talking about before. Clear search on check-in so that when you check someone in, it clears out the previous search. There's a lot of different configuration items here. Like I said before, take a look at all your options, play around with it, see what works for you. Everybody is a little bit different. We found that from working at RunSignUp for many years. Everybody wants it different, so we can't just build it exactly the same for everybody because someone else is going to get pissed.
Real quick, your linked registration.
Yeah.
When 4 or 5 people sign up.
Yeah.
It's going to ask you if you want to check in everybody else. Say 3 of the 5 show up. Will it give you the option to select the ones that showed up?
Yes. So like you just click click this one, and click the other
ones that are
one.
actually there.
Yeah, and it'll bring you to their check-in screen. Like it'll say, oh, here's John's, here's a check-in, he needs to sign his waiver, he needs his bib, and then close out.
They're linked by the same email address?
They're linked by their transaction.
Okay.
So if I register me and all my friends together, it'll say that we're all linked. All right, that's what I got for check-in. I never really talked about this actually. So yeah, we do have the ability to do on-site credit card with the RaceDay app, which is pretty cool. We have these little scanners that'll work on the phones or on USB through a computer. They're $50 for the USB ones, $25 for the headphone jack that work with a mobile device. If you do need to accept on-site registrations, it's pretty cool. Just walk around with a phone, like Apple Store style, just checking people out. We have a store set up on RunSignUp where you can purchase those and we'll ship them to you. The last thing is our RaceDay results app. And just before I go over this one, another thing that's cool about all these apps is that they are background syncing and they all have a local database. So that's a little bit of a tech term, but what it does is basically it keeps its own local database. So if it loses connection to the internet at any point, it's able to still search through the local cache. So in the check-in app, you could download all the participants beforehand, and let's say you have a trail run out in the middle of nowhere, you could still check everybody in here, and as soon as it gets data again, it will upload all those changes and updates to RunSignUp. So that's really important for results, as we all know, because if you have a results kiosk set up, you're doing all your results with computers, if you lose internet connection, everything goes down, you can't search through any results, that's really bad. So what this app does is it locally hosts all of the results data that's currently in it. So if you lose connection, obviously it's not going to get updates from your timing software yet, but it still will allow you to search through any previous results. That's the biggest problem people have, and that's why we made this, is because we wanted to allow people to use more devices and tablets and computers to show results. And the biggest problem people have is that I have spotty internet connection. I live in Bermuda and cell phone service is awful. So this is what allows us to basically have preliminary results and get any new results that are available on a set process cycle. So if you lose that internet, I can still search through results that are already there. It makes people a lot more calm than all of my computers went down. I can't search for anything. So yeah. The results app is really slick. It does allow you to configure it. These are, again, meant to be on-site kiosk apps. These are not meant to be participant-facing, so this is not something that you would give to your participants to find the results. What you really want to be doing is using this just for your computers that you set up as kiosk devices. The reason is that it's going to put a lot of drain if a ton of people are pulling all of this data up and down on their local machines, cell phones, computers. The intention is not for this to be participant side. This is meant to be just for you guys on site. So keep that in mind. So basically, Megan, you want us to go to a date some Saturday in the past, and we'll take a look here. We'll do one of these ones. But the Sealy Lakes, this one looks good. Sealy Lakes, Montana. So they make it pretty nice and big and chunky, so you can click stuff, and it's easy to thumb through. Megan, why don't you go ahead and click one of them? Nice and big. Again, I still recommend making the screens larger so you can see more information. Close out of here. If you're working in the results app, there is a way to adjust the settings. If you click the icon. So this is really important. A lot of people don't know this exists. We try and hide it so participants don't click around. We can change this to a list view, which is just a little bit smaller. You want to show them that, Megan? It's a little bit tighter, gives you a little more information. Want to go back? And then if you're super old school, you can do plain. Some people love this. Right? Pretty good. That's what I'm used to. Let's go back to list. Auto clear search is really good to use. Go back to it. This will automatically clear the search when you're entering in information. So if I set this to about 3, or is it, go back down, 5. Yeah, I set it to 5. And that's usually pretty good. So close out of here, type in a number. This is a good thing. You can highlight that it searches through all events. You don't have to have this set to a single event. Our previous kiosks, you had to say, this one's for the 5K, that one's for the 10K. This just searches through everything. Just do 422. Yeah, so you can click in there. And if you just let it time out, it goes back to the previous screen. So if you have a computer set up for this, I usually just leave the cursor on the search and I cover the mouse. So no one can touch it. And then you just type in the numbers. Or like I set up a computer, if you guys have like any of those flip like yoga laptops or whatever, I set it up backwards and then I connect up a number pad to it so you can just use the number pad. And then it's just 72, enter. Shows it, clears away automatically, goes back to the search. It's still in the field to look up the next person. That's what I usually like to do. You want to go back to the settings again? Scroll down. Poll for results, that's important. This is what tells this kiosk to look for new results. It's not always doing this because if we had every single results page in our database looking for results every 5 seconds, wouldn't be good. Steven would hate me. This will automatically be enabled on race day and then disabled for any other day. So on race day, you should be able to go in here and see that this is automatically enabled. And if it's not, don't worry. You don't have to make sure to remember on site to go and turn it on. Be aware that it will automatically turn on race day. I always like to double check it. Maybe something in your race setup is weird where your event days are strange and it didn't trigger this to be turned on. But if you notice that your kiosk is not getting new entries for some reason or new results data for some reason, go ahead and double check that poll for data is enabled here. We also have some other configurations for the display, showing a search, showing events/age groups, showing events/age groups button, showing age and results, so then some other things. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the results app. We do allow you to use this kiosk button, so if you click that, oops, click the settings button again. So you have to enter a code in, I'm sorry. This is like you enter in the lock code, so participants can't get into here and change settings. So you could enter run sign up in there, then click kiosk, and then the next time you click it, you have to enter in run sign up.
Matt.
Whoa, this one was here.
Print option for this results?
There's not a print option right now in this, no. The issue is that it's really difficult to connect a printer to an app within a browser. So it's something that we've tried and we've talked about a lot. It's just very difficult to work the drivers into it. We're trying to reduce that as much as possible. We like to have people work more to get text results out and email notifications out, because I think people these days, most people have a smartphone, most people have a dumb phone they can get a text message on, so try and use that if at all possible. We still do have the capability, like if you're a race director timer, they do have the ability to do printing results from a kiosk that way, and that hooks up to run sign up results if you use it.
Is there a way to scroll, so as people are finishing, it's breaking down age groups and it's constantly updating?
Like a leaderboard?
Yeah, kind of.
Not in this, no. But we do have leaderboard links that you can use that would get you pretty close. We don't have right now a leaderboard for age group rankings on RunSignUp, but we do have a recent finishers leaderboard.
Okay.
That would be a separate URL though.
Is there a web version of the sign up app?
Yeah, sign up app, sorry.
No, not sign the
Yes,
results app.
results.runsignup.com.
Okay. Once you have results posted, how do you update participant information?
You can update that, it depends many ways. You can update it if your scoring software integrates with RunSignUp results. You can do it automatically from there, or you can do it from your race dashboard. So okay, that's results, sign up, check-in. I do also want to talk about RaceJoy. So if you guys haven't already started using RaceJoy, it is the on-site app to use. This thing is great, especially if you guys are doing long events. I highly recommend checking it out, at least getting a demo of it. If you do half marathons, triathlons, especially ultras, it's really cool. People tend to love to be able to track people on site without having to set up a ton of timing mats. So it's a GPS tracking application, but we're expanding it to be kind of the RaceDay application for participants, so that they get results data fed in immediately from RunSignUp results. If you have photos, we will actually bring those in so that we have a link in your results data on your RaceJoy application to the RaceDay photos in RunSignUp. So it's really cool to be able to have this one application. And what you can do is actually have there's a race search in RaceJoy. The easiest way for people to find the race track currently is just use the Near Me button. And that says Near Me, oh, it's the first one on the list because I'm physically at the race. So definitely highly recommend checking it out and checking out James's session later.
In 1 hour.
Yeah, so in 1 hour, James will be talking about RaceJoy. His technology is incredible, so definitely check it out. What he's done with GPS tracking is, I think, changing the game for RaceDay. So, all right, guys, thank you so much.
Go eat
Get to lunch. Let me know if you have any questions. Avery at RunSignUp.com.